If I could have everyone's attention, please. I'll call our meeting to order. This is the July meeting of the Wilson County Board of Zoning Appeals. Appreciate everyone being here this morning. We have a prepared agenda that's been advertised as required. Does anyone have a case before us this morning that's on the agenda that you'd like to withdraw or defer to another meeting? And if not, our agenda will remain as published. Just as a reminder to everyone, if you would silence your cell phones. Another reminder, we have cameras in the courtroom this morning, and our proceedings are going to be videotaped on Wilson County TV. You can review this meeting later if you want to on the county YouTube channel. Also, we have a court recorder with us this morning that's taking a transcript of our proceedings. The court recorder is provided at the expense of Wilson County. If you would like a record of a particular case, that transcript would be at your expense, and if you would please see the court recorder at the end of our meeting this morning. In regard to each case, the county staff has taken a look at each one of these cases, and they have given the board their recommendations, and we will be referring to those recommendations and considering them as we render our decisions. If you have a case on the agenda this morning, first off, I'll call the case, and I'll read the case, and then we'll hear the staff comments in regard to the case. Whoever is the applicant or the person representing the case, if you would please come to the podium once we've heard the staff comments and give us your name and address for the record. And then the board will hear anything you'd like to tell us in regard to your application. Once the applicant has had the opportunity to make a statement, then I'll call for anyone else who wishes to come to the podium and give us their comments, whether it be in support of the application or in opposition. If you do plan to make a statement at the podium this morning in front of the board, you need to be sworn in. So at this time, if you would please, if you do intend to speak, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give this board to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
You.
Thank you. Every time I call a case, I'll give everyone who wishes to speak the opportunity to do so. But the state of Tennessee requires us to have a general comment period before each public meeting. This isn't regard to any particular case. It's a general comment period in case you like to make any statement of a general nature in front of the board. So at this time, is there anyone who wishes to address this board during the general comment period? And seeing none, I'll close the public comment period. Turning to the board, you have the minutes from our June meeting, which were sent to you a few days ago. You've had an opportunity to review those. Does anyone have any corrections to our minutes from the month of June? If not, do I hear a motion in regard to June's minutes?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve the minutes from June. I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Discussion on the motion. And hearing none, all in favor vote aye.
Aye.
Opposition vote no. And the ayes have it. Okay. Moving into the regular agenda. Case 4303, Lisa Matron is requesting a variance of 5 feet from the west side yard setback requirement of 20 feet and a variance of 23 feet from the lot width requirement of 125 feet. The variance, if the variances are approved, the applicant will be able to replace the existing mobile home. The property is located at 5885 Franklin Road, parcel 23.04 on Wilson County Tax Map 101, consists of 2.17 acres, zoned A1 agricultural. We get staff recommendations now on 4303.
Mr. Chair, the applicant is requesting a variance of 5 feet from the west side yard setback requirement of 20 feet. And to amend the application, it's an additional variance of 3 feet from the lot width requirement of 125 feet. A variance of 20 feet was given from the lot width that was granted by the board on April 16th, 1999, and that was case number 1899 at that time. This is a non-conforming lot that was created in December of 1992 without a subdivision plat. The applicant is in the process of getting a plat recorded for this property with the county. Therefore, staff can recommend approval of the additional 3-foot lot width variance, and that's due just to the lack of the plat in 1999. The request was based off of a plot plan distance. The additional 3 feet came from the survey points that the surveyor has submitted with the plat that's going through the process. The existing house on the property is 5 feet too close to the west side yard. The 5-foot variance will bring this into compliance and allow the applicant to replace the mobile home and place a new home on the same footprint. There is a permit for the existing mobile home, which was pulled in 1999 by a previous property owner. Because of this, staff can recommend approval of the 5-foot west side yard setback requirement.
Okay, who's there to represent 4303 Mantron? Yes, ma'am. Would you please give us your name and address?
Lisa Mattern, 5885 Franklin Road,
Anything?
Lebanon.
Excuse me, I interrupted you.
You're fine.
I'm jumping the gun. Anything you'd like to tell the board, ma'am?
Well, just that I'm requesting a variance to replace my home.
Got you. Okay.
And-
Does the board have any questions for the applicant?
And you're replacing it in the exact same footprint, same location, right?
Yes.
Correct. Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? If not, does anyone else here wish to address 4303? Commissioner Evans.
Gentlemen, I'm not here as Ms. Mattern's commissioner today. I'm here as her neighbor because I own property at 5925 and at 5861, so I'm on both sides of her. I don't have a problem with what she's asking to do. If you look at the map, there's a ravine to the west side of her property that kind of divides hers from my driveway. It's not going to bother anything. I'm good with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's your place right there, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anyone else wish to address 4303? If not, I'll close the public hearing and turn to the board for a motion or further discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve, based on staff recommendations, the 3-foot lot width variance and the 5-foot west side yard setback.
I have a motion, Mr. Crockett, to approve the request as amended. I have a second.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion on the motion. There's no discussion. All in favor of the motion, vote aye. Aye. Opposition, vote no. The ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Our next case is 4304. George Chica requesting a variance of 5 feet from the height requirement of 22 feet. If approved, the proposed accessory structure will be an average of 27 feet in height. The property is located at 1074 Burnhouse Road, parcel 30.06 on Wilson County Tax Map 125. Consists of 12.5 acres, zoned A1 agricultural. We get staff recommendations now on 4304.
Mr. Chair, the applicant is requesting a variance of 5 feet from the height requirement of 22 feet. Given the language in the zoning ordinance, staff cannot recommend approval of the height variance.
Okay, who's here to represent 4304?
I am.
Yes, sir. Come forward, please.
Good morning.
Name and address, please.
George Chukka, 1074 Burnhouse Road, Lebanon.
And what would you like to tell the board, sir?
Well, I'd like to say good morning to the board members, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm just requesting to build a shop for my property to protect my feed and hay and all my equipment and farming equipment. And I submitted the documents necessary to build my shop, and it's a 40 by 60. I'm on a 12.5 acre parcel, and then I was told that I exceeded it by half a foot, and I was like, what? So I did whatever I needed to do in order to be in compliance. And I had my excavator come out to measure out the property, the slab area for the shop. And he measured it out, and then I was told that I'm over by half a foot. But the way the grading's got to be brought up to be leveled, it makes it seem like it's taller than it is. And it's not. It's 22.5 feet at the highest
All
peak.
on one side than it is on the other?
No, sir, it's all leveled. It's just a peak, and it has 2 lean-tos, 2 doors to bring in my tractor, all my farming equipment, all my mowers, my feed. I got livestock. I've already lost grain, tons of grain because of the rain. I'm new to this area. I moved from Idaho. I had the same exact shop on my property there 2 months ago, and it was actually taller by 2 feet taller. It was 18-footer on the walls, and this one here is, I've lowered it to try to be in compliance, and that was 2 feet lower, which was 16. And so, so I'm trying to do what I can. I just want to protect my equipment and my feed and get everything under a roof because the elements here are different.
So how far is it that your building is off of the property line?
Well,
20 feet here, is that correct?
Yes, that's what I've done. I've given an extra 10 feet from my neighbor. The ordinance says that you got required to be by 10 feet from the property line. So I asked my excavator to be 10 more feet, so that's 20 feet away from the property line. And I've spoken to both my neighbors, and both my neighbors says, oh, I have the same shop on my property.
And do you plan to run any business out of this?
No, sir. No, sir.
There's no commercial use?
No, sir. It's just for just farming my property and protecting my feed and all my equipment.
How far off the road is the building?
My driveway is approximately 650 feet from the main road, Burnhouse Road. And I'm up on the hill there, and I'm on 12.5 acres. So I have a long driveway, and it's off to the left side there where I'm putting
You
it.
would say that it's 500 to 600 feet off the,
It's 650 feet.
yeah, just an approximate.
Yep, yes, sir.
Your house, if you come down your driveway, there's the proposed building, and then your house is further down the driveway?
My house is further up the driveway on the right-hand side, about 150, 200 yards away to the right.
Do we have something in the ordinance about side yard buildings?
Side yard buildings?
I didn't think you could put a building in a side yard.
You can if you meet the primary structure setback is how that would operate. It's the way that's been interpreted, and I think that's kind of went through the wayside because we've got a ton of buildings that are actually in front yards now, as long as they meet the front yard setback. But
At one time, we had came before us,
it had to be behind the back wall of the home.
and the front building line of the house.
Yes, that's not been enforced in a while. That'd predate me. I'd have to go back and see when we stopped
Has it been
interpreting
changed or
it.
just not enforced?
It's just not interpreted that way anymore.
I think it's been changed. I think when you go to the zoning ordinance, I think it states that, it doesn't state that, I think they took the wording out that says a structure can't be in the side yard.
Okay, so you don't think it's an issue anymore?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
And this structure is not directly beside the house. You do get to the structure before you go up the hill and in the house. And
Gotcha.
get to the house, where the house location is.
Okay. Other questions for the applicant?
I got one.
Yes, sir.
What I have here is that you're asking for a variance of 5 feet in the height requirement to go to 27 feet. Is that right?
Sir, I don't know how the county operates in regards to the ordinance, but I'm only half a foot over. It's 20. What it is I think they take a portion of the lowest portion of your property, one of the corners, and then the highest portion, which is 22 and a half feet, and then they divide it in two, and then it gives me some sort of calculation to give me an extra 5% or 5 variance
Let me get a
foot.
clarification. How are they measuring this?
They measure it from the ground.
So it is,
On a pad or the natural slope of the ground?
They will measure it from the they will measure it from the ground, not the slope, but the ground, the lowest point of the ground. So if a pad is built up, they're not gonna measure it from the pad, they're gonna measure it from the ground. And on his plot plan, it shows one corner at 28 feet, and then if you'll look at the front corner, it shows 24.5 on the plot plan that he submitted.
so the existing ground is sloped, like he said, his house is up the hill, so you got a different dimension on the back of the building than you would have on the front.
So we took the average of the two,
So you take an average. Okay.
the average of the two.
So there's a portion of this that's more than whatever this says.
It looks like the back corner.
So the average is 27.
Yes.
Okay.
Is the building, I would assume, the floor of the building built on a pad, or is it just sloped with the slope of the ground?
No, sir, it's going to be a flat, right off my asphalt, parallel to my asphalt driveway, which is pretty much the most levelest portion of my property. And it's going to be right there, and everything's going to be parallel to my asphalt road, paved road, and it's all leveled. Yeah, it's,
Is it different? Are you saying that it's different than what you submitted on the plot plan?
no, ma'am.
Right?
No, the gentleman asked me, is it going to be a slope building, or no, it's going to be leveled building, but I'm on a hill, so I have slopes. So my grader's going to come in and grade it, so, and level everything.
Pad sitting.
Yes.
sloped
Right, he's,
ground.
right, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Question, he's building on a level pad.
Yeah.
On sloped ground,
But she's saying they measure from.
off the slope of the ground, not the pad.
Okay.
And I don't know, of course, I think I've made this statement in here before, but my understanding, according to the stuff I get from Farm Bureau regarding stuff of this nature, is that Tennessee has a state law that says we have no right to prohibit or regulate a normal farming practice. If he's testifying this is an agricultural barn, can we prohibit or regulate that? And we don't have an attorney here, but that's,
Well, we have established what we would consider agriculture.
Right.
5 points.
and we haven't asked him, I guess maybe we need to question him a little bit more about his agriculture.
This is an
use.
agricultural structure.
Yes, sir, it's a pole barn that I'm using to store all my hay and grain and my farming equipment,
Okay.
tractors, lawnmowers.
Just so we establish for the record, tell us what pursuits we don't need to know anything about numbers, we just want to know what pursuits you intend to pursue.
What is your agricultural, what type of a farming do you do?
Are you a goat farmer, a sheep farmer, a beef?
Goat, yes, sir.
Goat.
I have goats, and I had horses, but I sold them coming up here, and the chickens. So I had to sell all my chickens, I had to sell my pigs, I had to sell everything because I moved about 10 states to come here.
So this is an agricultural structure only.
Yes, sir. It's just to store my equipment, to keep it out of the elements, and to, my hay, my feed, tractor, I have lots of feed, so it's, I buy grains and hay. And, yeah.
Does the board have any other questions for the applicant?
Nope.
Okay. Does anyone else here wish to address 4304? Chica?
Check us, sir.
Cheka, okay. If not, I'll close the public hearing in regard to 4304, and we'll turn to the board. And I don't know, I don't think there's any difference between either taking no action and letting the law be as it is, or entertaining a motion to approve. I don't know what the difference would be.
I mean, if you,
We brought him up here, so
Yeah.
we need to take action.
yeah, I would probably recommend taking action on that particular case. And then to kind of follow up on your questions about accessory structures, there were 2 amendments to accessory structures, and I can follow up with you if you want to know which one actually amended, but there was one in February of 2015 and then one in October of 2020 that amended accessory
For the purpose of
structures.
this discussion, I think it's enough to know that it's been changed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Returning to the board, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I will move that we approve this case based on the testimony given by the applicant that this is an agricultural use.
Okay. Have a motion to approve 4304. To have a second?
I'll second.
And I have a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, vote aye. Aye. Opposition, vote no. And the ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, female, ladies. Appreciate it.
Next case is 4305, Jim Johnson, requesting a variance of 4 feet from the north rear setback requirement of 40 feet. The existing house is 36 feet from the north rear property line. The applicant needs a variance of approximately 51,500 square feet from the lot size requirement of 80,000 square feet. If approved, the variance will allow the applicant to build a deck that will meet setback requirements. The property is located at 20 Lake Drive, Lot 32-39, Group A, Parcel 20.02, on Wilson County Tax Map 10K. Consists of approximately 28,500 square feet, zoned A1 agricultural. We'll get staff recommendations now on 4305.
Okay, the applicant is requesting a variance of 4 feet from the north rear setback requirement of 40 feet for the existing house, and a variance of approximately 51,500 square feet from the lot size requirement of 80,000 square feet. The property is currently made up of 8 substandard lots that were created in October of 1955. Because this is an older tract of record, staff can recommend approval of the rear yard setback. The property owner is also in the process of combining all these lots together to create a new 28,500 square foot lot approximately. While this will be a new lot of record, and it is bringing multiple existing non-conforming lots closer to the 80,000 square foot minimum. Therefore, staff can recommend approval of the lot size variance.
Okay, who's here to represent 4305 Johnson?
My name is Heidi Johnson. I'm
Yes,
at
ma'am.
20 Lake Drive, Lebanon. We moved here in 1993. Our home was built in 1984. It's on a corner lot and predates the zoning ordinance. We have paid for and applied for a variance. We are wishing to replace the current deck, of which I have photographs of, and as well as drawings of the new deck for you.
I think we passed some photographs around, but we'll take a look at these.
Some of the new deck that will be built. It is a composite deck that is the same footprint as the existing deck. The only difference is that there will be 2 more feet in depth on the back side of the house facing the lake, and we are working with Carmen Survey per the county to provide you with more updated information regarding our lot.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for the applicant? If not, does anyone else here wish to address 4305 Johnson? Okay. If no one has any questions and there's no one else wishing to address the case, we'll close public hearing and turn to the board for discussion or a motion.
Make a motion that we approve this upon staff recommendation.
I have a motion to approve 4305 based on staff recommendations. We have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor vote aye. Aye. Opposition vote no. And the ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am.
Pleasure. Thank you, Board.
Our next case is case 4306, Tomas Sanchez, requesting to utilize an existing accessory structure for fabrication business. The property is located at 5785 Charles Ferry Pike, Lot 1, Harlan property, parcel 4.03, Wilson County Tax Map 65, consists of 5 acres, zoned A1 agricultural. Get staff recommendations now on 4306.
Mr. Chair, the applicant is requesting to utilize an accessory structure for a fabrication business. From staff's discussion with the applicant on site, the business will not be open to the public, nor will it have any employees that do not live in the home on the property. The applicant also stated that there will be no outdoor storage of materials on site, and they will work on 1 or 2 individual projects at a time, with truck picking up or dropping off material 1 or 2 times a week, with delivery hours being set to avoid school traffic. Fabrication businesses are not listed use on appeal in the A1 zone district, and staff feels this use is more intense than what would typically be allowed to fall under the home occupation. Therefore, staff cannot recommend approval of the use variance.
Okay. Who's here to represent 4306?
Hi, I'm Nayeli Valdez. I'm here to represent 6.
Address, please.
5785 Charlesdale Ferry Pike, Lebanon, Tennessee 37087.
And any statements you'd like to make to the board?
Yes, of course. Thank you, board, for being here today. I just wanted to let you know that we're requesting permission to use the existing infrastructure on the property. This infrastructure is going to be used more so for the business owner to work from home. This is not going to be a retail showroom situation. This is more for him to work in the comfort of his home, and we want to comply with the county. And we also intend, to honor the land and the rural area, and we want to embed ourselves into it by not having a showroom. We won't have clients walking in. He will just be working from home, from his house, walking to the shop.
You heard the county planner, Mr. Lawless, mention that in his conversations, it was stated that it would not be open to the public.
It will not be open to our public. Yes, it will be open to the public.
There will be no additional employees.
No additional employees is correct.
And there will be no outside storage.
No outside storage is correct.
So y'all heard that and you agree with it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Other questions from the board for the applicant?
Mr. Chairman, just as a point of interest, I am an adjoining property owner to this property, my family. I don't live there, but we own a farm adjoining that, so I just want to put that out there. I don't have any conflict of interest. They're really good neighbors. They got a really, really neat property, and they do a really, really good job with what they've got there.
Okay. Anything else from the board?
I got a question. What are you going to be fabricating?
So we fabricate natural stone. So the work that we do is very custom and intricate. So think like fireplaces, marble that goes all the way up to the wall, stones that have thick edges that are like a waterfall. These are just intricate custom things that Tomas has been able to articulate in craftsmanship over the past 20 years. So he works on that, and he wants to work on that from home.
Okay, so what you're saying is the product will be delivered to you. You do whatever you do with it, and then somebody picks it up after it's finished.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't know anything about this type of work, but I'm assuming that there will be cutting or sawing or sanding or grinding or whatever. As far as the noise and or any dust particles or any fumes or anything of that nature, will all that be contained inside the building?
It will all be contained inside the building, yes.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Nope. Anyone else? Oh, excuse me.
One comment.
Sure, go ahead.
I don't know how to word this. I'm somewhat protective of A1 agricultural, and this is not agricultural. We'll see how it passes, but my advice to be is if it's approved, do what you say you're going to do and keep it neat, clean, and, because I don't want to open up this to other cases, so.
I'm with you, and I hear you, sir. Yes, absolutely. That's again, is the goal is to embed ourselves into the rural lifestyle. That's the reason Tomas moved out there. He wants to be very discreet, very clean. I take walks with my dog every morning for about an hour, and I just love seeing all the land and the cattle, and it's beautiful, and I couldn't imagine a commercial infrastructure being on a property. So we want to comply and be very discreet.
I'll take it at your word, just a bit of advice.
Thank you so much.
But you won't have anybody where you'll be delivering and have people come up there constantly to pick up any kind of product or anything like that?
Exactly. We won't have anybody there because all of our sales are made out of Nashville. There are warehouses in Nashville that store large stone, and that's where customers go to select material, and that's where all the sales are done.
Any other questions by the board? Comments?
I'll, like I said, because I do live in that area and travel that area numerous times a day. You know, based on the location of this property, you know, it's adjacent to a school. There's probably 3 churches within a half a mile, Dollar General store, place where they cut hair. We had a commercial business come in 2 or 3 months ago that this board, I think, gave a grandfather clause to. There's quite a bit going on right here rather than just being strictly an A1 zoning. There is quite a bit of stuff, you know, in this area. So I do feel like it would be.
It's just a regular commercial hub, isn't it?
Well, it would be in keeping with the agricultural and
We may have to build some warehouses up there.
character of this one.
No, nowhere.
This is a small mom and pop family operation. I think it would be an asset to the community.
Okay.
And I do want very quickly, and I'll be quiet, I want to read here on page 10 in our zoning book. It says, special exception may be granted by the Board of Zoning Appeals where the proposed use would, in the opinion of the board, not be detrimental to the character, pattern, and general welfare of the area or neighborhood. And I believe this use would fit that description. I'll be quiet.
Okay. Any other comments? All right. Does anyone else here wish to address 4306 Sanchez? Okay. If not, I'll close public comment to 4306 and turn to the board for a motion. And I'll move that we approve 4306 with the following stipulations. This will be a facility for the manufacturing of custom stonework, not anything else,
Not
just
anything
custom
else.
stonework. It will not be open to the public. I have no additional employees, no outdoor storage, and you'll be limited to 4 pickup and deliveries per week.
Perfect.
That's my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, you covered, you know, I don't know if you want to include their business plan in your motion. It kind of covered what you covered, but I don't, that's their business plan.
The only thing the business plan covers that you didn't is they have quiet hours listed on their business plan from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m.
I'm just asking.
That'd be the only thing that you didn't cover in your motion.
Well, I'll include their business plan. Couldn't hurt anything. I'll include their business plan in the motion. Do you accept that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve with stipulations, including the business plan. Do we have discussion? Not, all in favor of the motion, vote aye. Aye. Opposition, vote no. And the ayes have it. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, our next case is 4307. Eva, is that Lomancy? Correct. Okay, good. Requesting to utilize 264 square feet of the home for gunsmithing and manufacturing. The property is located at 4050 Beasley's Bend Road, Lot 3, Jackson property, parcel 15.02, Wilson County Tax Map 5, consisting of 11.15 acres, zoned A1 agricultural. We get staff recommendations now on 4307.
Mr. Chair, the applicant is requesting to utilize 264 square feet of the home for gunsmithing and manufacturing. Gunsmithing is included in an allowed use in the home occupation definition found in the zoning ordinance. However, the ATF has different types of licensing for gunsmithing and gun manufacturing, with the difference being whether the gun parts are purchased by the customer or the business owner. If the board believes the applicant's business falls under the scope of gunsmithing as defined by the zoning office, the applicant does not need a variance. However, if the board sees that the request for manufacturing is beyond the scope of zoning ordinance, then the use variance must be granted. Staff will note that the applicant meets all other regulations for a home occupation. There's no language in the zoning ordinance that specifies gun manufacturing. Therefore, staff is unable to recommend approval of the request if the board does not believe the applicant request falls under the definition of gunsmithing or is considered an accessory to gunsmithing use as defined in the home occupation ordinance. The provided definition in our home occupation, and this is what staff is leaning on, is firearm sales and firearm repair or smithing operations will generally be viewed as allowable home occupations so long as stated hours of operation are between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. and so long as there is no more than 3 clients on site at any given time. The big difference is the ATF is issuing this gentleman a manufacturing license in addition to what we considered gunsmithing, what we wrote our home occupation on.
I understand. Who's here to represent 4307? Yes, sir.
Good morning. Yes, there is 9 different types of FFLs I applied for.
Name and address, please.
My name is Angelo Masney. My address is 4050 Beasley's Bend Road, Lebanon, Tennessee.
Now go ahead.
There is 9 different types of FFLs. I applied for a Type 7. The most common is a Type 1. Type 1 is gunsmithing, transfers, and sales. Type 7 is manufacturing. Now, manufacturing, when you hear that term, I'm not taking raw material and turning it into a receiver or whatnot. If you bring me parts to assemble a firearm, that's gunsmithing in the eyes of the ATF. If I go out and I source all these components on my own, same physical act, and I assemble the gun, put my trademark on it to sell it for profit, that's considered manufacturing in the eyes of the ATF. Physically, it's the same act. I'm not looking to mass produce, a bunch of guns. I'm looking at custom one-off bench rifles, varmint-style guns, more custom work like detailed work. But that term manufacturing is what the ATF is looking for so that their paperwork and your paperwork meet up.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for the... Who is that?
That's me. I'm sorry. I took it off the airplane mode. It's all.
Does the board have any questions for the applicant?
How do you, I'm assuming you're going to have to test these guns, you're going to have to fire them.
Correct. I'm on 11 acres. I have a gun range set up on the property that will not be used by anyone but me.
How much?
11.25 acres.
How much are you going to be using your firing range?
Personally, I use it once a week, twice a week.
And you just use it for your own use? You have
Correct. Yeah, that will not be to the public.
buddies, cousins come in and...
I've had friends, come over, but as far as any customers, no.
I got a question.
Go right ahead.
So if I bring a firearm to you and it needs some repair work and you repair it,
As a gunsmith, yes. And as a manufacturer, definitely yes.
okay, the question is, am I allowed to take that weapon and go out on your property?
No, nope, absolutely not. You cannot test it on my property.
Okay.
Me and the ATF, Joseph Johnson had this conversation. Absolutely not. Even if someone purchases one from me and they ask the question, hey, can I go out back and test it? It's no big deal. Yeah, it is a big deal. You can go out, go to the pharmacy down the road here and you can go shoot at that gun range. He's licensed for that. I'm not. That is an absolute no.
Without going through all of this paperwork, line by line, are you controlled by the ATF? Do they know that you're going to be doing this, or?
I already filed for my Type 7 license, and that's what brings me here is that the zoning paperwork recognizes gunsmith, but they do not see that term manufacturing in your zoning documentation. That's what brings me before you.
The ATF requires a letter from our local zoning office that it meets our letter of the law to the best of intent, and that's why it's included in the home occupation. But when we wrote that, it was specifically just for their Type 1 license, and this was done probably 5 years ago now, because we used to have probably one gunsmithing case a month back 5-7 years ago. But we never had the inclination that there were, one, I don't think we looked into the different styles of licenses, and manufacturing is not listed in our license.
But ATF regulates him or whatever, I don't know to what degree, but they do regulate you.
Oh, I'd be under an audit once a year. Once a fiscal year, I would be audited.
Explain the audit. They visit your site or?
They would visit my site. They would go over my documentation as far as I've done X amount of transfers this fiscal year, and I have to present that evidence to them saying, hey, look, all my stuff is on the up and up. You know, that's when people get into trouble is when they keep poor paperwork, that's when people get into trouble. So it's all about documentation. If you keep a good junk drawer and you present them what they need right there and then.
So the only difference between a type 1 and a type 7 is where the raw materials come from?
Correct. If I'm seeking it myself, that's manufacturing, but if you brought it to me, that's gunsmithing. Technically, you're assembling something and turning it into a device. It just, when you add another party involved, that's a gunsmith. When I'm trying to, manufacture and put a trademark on something that I created, that's manufacturing in the eyes of the ATF.
We had one of these before, a type 7.
Not to my knowledge, no, sir.
And
I don't mean to, go ahead.
any employees?
My wife is an RP on the FFL. She's a responsible person, so if the ATF has any questions for her, she can answer it. But far as physically doing gunsmithing, no, I am the source. I will not have
The
extra.
only employee, the only worker person there.
Correct.
This is probably going to be repetitive, but you're not going to allow anybody to come in there to a shooting range. You're just going to have
Absolutely not.
your manufacturing process.
Correct.
Mr. Neal, you had something?
Yeah, but it probably wasn't relative. It was about whether or not we've had these. I was thinking we'd had somebody that did make custom high-end shotguns, like $5,000, $10,000 shotguns, but maybe it wasn't manufactured. I don't know. It sounded similar, but maybe it wasn't. It was years ago.
I don't remember. I just wondered the difference in type 1 versus 7 and whether we'd done it before.
I don't think we've ever done a manufacturing license. Every request that's been here in the past was always gunsmithing. Now, there may have been somebody that kind of misconstrued that information at the time,
Right.
because we didn't have a difference in the licensing. I do need to note that I'm not going to read it because they're not here, but we do have one letter of opposition from Mr. Jerry Powers. I just wanted to let you all know that was sent in to staff, but since he's not under oath, we will not be reading that letter.
Say that again?
Since he's not under oath, we're not going to read the letter into the record, but we do have one letter of opposition.
Okay.
Where does that person live?
He's across the street.
Yeah.
Straight from,
And
That's about 300 yards.
if the board doesn't have any more questions for the applicant, I'm going to call to see if anybody else wants to speak. So, does anyone else here wish to address 4307? Yes, sir.
No black powder. No black powder.
So regular gunpowder is not, it's a flammable solid or something?
Residential, you can't store more than 20 pounds for personal use.
Of black powder? Okay.
I usually talk to the ATF agents. I think he was talking about a deal on Swindle Hollow. That person wasn't licensed. I was talking to the ATF on that one.
Okay. Well, if no one else wishes to address this case, I'll close the public hearing, and if there are no more questions for the applicant, and turn to the board. And do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I will move that we approve this based on the testimony giving and from this gentleman, the applicant. I don't know that there's that much difference between gunsmithing and gun manufacturing when as far as it falls under the home occupation.
I wonder if we've never done one of these before, if we want to put a time limit on it. Because you have to renew this license every so often.
3 years.
Sure. So you made that motion to approve.
Yes.
Here a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. I'm going to move to amend that we put a 3-year time limit on the approval. in case there's something here that we're not seeing, that we'll have a second shot at it. Okay.
I accept that.
You accept that? Mr. Blades, you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, any discussion on the motion as amended? And if not, all in favor vote aye. Aye. Opposition, vote no.
No.
And have one no. So we have 4 ayes and 1 no. All right, thank you.
Can I say something before he leaves, just for information? This being 3 years, don't wait 3 years and 6 months. You need to come back before the 3 years.
Okay,
Give time.
okay,
Otherwise, the process is going to start over again.
okay. So if I go 2 years,
Well, you could go more than that, but
At 2 years and 9 months or so, you need
Yeah.
to be thinking about it.
so would I schedule another meeting with you?
Yes.
yes,
Yep.
you'll have to appeal and come back here.
It'd be the same process that you scheduled for this one. You'd just be renewing your use
Okay.
for the.
With that being said, could Joseph Japeth Johnson from the ATF get a copy of this with the amendment added?
You would please see the staff when we're done here, and they can tell you how to get your documentation.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next case is case 4308. Ronald Cottle is requesting a variance of 2.5 feet from the required height variance of 22 feet for an accessory structure. If approved, the proposed accessory structure will be 24.5 feet high, in height. The property is located at 1027 Vanderbilt Road, Lot 29, Hayes Hill, parcel 146.01 on Wilson County Tax Map 50, consisting of 2 acres and zoned R1 residential. We'll get staff recommendations on 4308.
Mr. Chair, the applicant is requesting a variance of 2.5 feet from the height requirement of 22 feet for an accessory structure. Given the language in the zoning ordinance, staff is unable to recommend approval.
Okay, who's here to represent 4308 Cottle? And what would you like to tell the board, sir?
That's Ron Cottle, 1027 Vanderbilt Road. I'm building a detached garage basically for a motorhome, and it requires 16-foot walls, and it's 34 wide. And if I stay at 22 feet, it's only about a 3-foot pitch or a 312 pitch, which I don't think is going to look good, number one. Plus, I don't think it's going to be good enough for the width of the building. So I was requiring, I think it's a 612 to get 27, or what was it, 24.5 feet.
Okay, does the board have questions for the applicant? I'm looking for the distance from the property line. I guess it may.
The side is going to be 12 feet, 12 to 13 feet from the side property line.
Side property line.
Yeah, and from the front, it's 200 feet.
Okay. All right. Other questions from the board? Before we get into it, are you claiming agricultural exemption?
No.
No. Okay. So we have a straight residentially zoned height variance request. Any questions for the applicant?
When you say to drop it down in compliance, your testimony is that it changes the roof pitch to where
it'd be a 312, basically a 312 pitch.
Mr. Engineer.
Pretty shallow.
It's a 312.
That's structurally.
I hadn't seen it, but
they make them structurally sound with that pitch.
Make them the 312 all the time.
Yeah, they just don't. It's just a matter of the runoff for the rain, snow, whatever. Steeper it is, the better it's going to be.
What's the roof? Metal?
Metal. Yeah.
I mean, practically speaking, if it was shingles, I wouldn't like it much because the shingles are going to. And during the snow, it's not going to run off as well. Normally, we'll use a metal roof when it gets down into the 2.5, maybe 3-inch pitch.
Okay. Yeah, my house is 712, so that's what I was trying to make it close to the house. It doesn't match the house. That'd even be taller.
Well, if the board doesn't have any questions for the applicant, I don't know anything to do, but if there's anyone else here wishes to address 4308, I don't know anything to do but to close the hearing. And the public hearing on 4308 is closed, and looking to the board for a motion. And you said you were 12 foot off the property line, did you?
Correct, 12 foot off the side, yeah.
I got you. Okay. Do you hear a motion in regard to 4308?
Mr. Chairman, I know we've granted some variances on heights, but generally they're on larger lots and/or agricultural uses. So based on the letter of the law, I will move that we deny this case. I may or may not agree with the letter of the law, but
It's 2 acres, though. It's not like it's a residential lot. It's in a rural area, right?
but there's no agricultural use, and so that but anyway.
Okay. I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second to deny case 4308. Is that based on staff recommendations?
Yes, that would be correct, yes.
Based on the staff recommendation. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor of the motion, vote aye. Aye. Opposition, vote no. The ayes have it. Thank you for coming.
So, but I still make it a 312 pitch, keep it at 22, and I'm fine.
I think so. I hate to make knee-jerk comments from the chair, but normally, if you comply with the ordinance, you're fine. If 312 gets you there, you should be in good shape.
Okay, so I got another question for you. So from the previous guy talking about the height, on the house, so basically it would be 2.5 feet above the peak of my house all the way across.
It would probably be better to talk to the staff after the meeting, because that way you can explain exactly what you're asking and they can give you an official response, because I may tell you wrong.
Okay, that's fine. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Our next case is case 4309. Rebecca Schaefer, on behalf of Caitlin and Ethan Oakley, requesting a variance of 3 feet from the north side yard setback requirement of 20 feet. The existing house is 17 feet from the north side property line. If approved, an addition will be made to the west rear property line and meet setback requirements. The property is located at 460B Bettis Road, Lot 2, Simmons Trust, parcel 34.05 on Wilson County Tax Map 94. Consists of 5 acres. It's owned A1 agricultural. We'll get staff recommendations now on 4309.
Mr. Chair, the applicant is requesting a variance of 3 feet from the north side yard setback requirement of 20 feet. There is an existing home on the property that was built in 1978. The proposed addition to this home will be added to the existing home and will meet all existing setbacks. The property received a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals in 2021 to be subdivided as a buildable tract without any public road frontage. The home existing on the property at the time of the subdivision, therefore staff could not recommend approval of the 3-foot side yard setback.
Okay, who's here to represent 4309?
I am Rebecca Schaefer, 355 Canoe Branch Road, Lebanon.
All right. And would you like to tell the board anything, ma'am?
Yes, so it's a family farm. This was the original farmhouse. It was split previously when he referred to that subdividing, when it was the last home permitted to be built several years ago, at 21. And that's when the lines were pulled without, the surveyor did not take into account the need for 20 foot. It's because the road frontage to the driveway, it's kind of odd, and it doesn't have road frontage to Bettis Road, so. The proposed addition is not on this side as he referenced, it's on the other side. And the adjoining property owner is also family. It is a crop lot only, and they have asked for the proposed variance to be approved. They don't care, it's just an old crop lot next to the property line in question, but the addition is not on the variance side that we're seeking.
Okay. And does the board have any questions for the applicant? If not, does anyone else here wish to wish to address case 4309 Schaefer? All right, and I'll close the public hearing and turn to the board for a motion. Do I hear a motion in regard to 4309?
Mr. Chair, I need to amend I believe I spoke and I said cannot recommend approval. I think I read the wrong line. My staff recs are actually can recommend approval with the variance that was given in 2021. I do need to amend that for the record.
I'm showing can.
Yeah, I believe I said cannot.
I was reading and I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
No.
But your recommendation is in the affirmative?
Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha. Now, in regard to 4309, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve based on staff recommendations.
Motion from Mr. Crockett to approve based on staff recommendations. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion, second. Ms. Robinson, any discussion on the motion? There is none. All in favor vote aye. Aye. Opposition vote no. The ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am. Our next case will be case 4310, Stephen Lamar Holly, requesting a variance of 7 feet from the front yard setback requirement of 30 feet, a variance of 12 feet from the west side setback requirement of 20 feet, a variance of 3 feet from the yard setback requirement, 3 feet from the requirement of 8 feet between structures. The applicant needs a variance of approximately 70,700 square feet on the lot size requirement of 80,000 square feet, and a variance of 50 feet from the lot width requirement of 125 square feet. The existing house is 23 feet from the property line and 8 feet from the west side property line. If approved, the variance will allow the proposed pool to be 5 feet from the water's edge to the existing deck. The property is located at 1070 Misty Lake Drive, Lot C, Lakeside Group D, Wilson, Parcel 5 on Wilson County Tax Map 16E, consisting of 9,300 square feet, zoned A1 agricultural. We get staff recommendations now on 4310.
All right, I'm going to skip to the second paragraph in my recommendation, so I'm not reiterating all those variances again. I do want to note that on the site review, the steps to the deck were not included in the measurement for the 3-foot variance between structures, and staff would recommend that this be amended to a 6-foot request between structures to include the steps. And this would allow 2 feet of separation between the stairs on the existing deck and the proposed in-ground pool edge of water. Staff will also note that while front setback variances are typically avoided, the request still fits within the existing character of this neighborhood, as these are historically smaller lots. This is an older tract of record, with the lot being created in March of 1954. Therefore, staff can recommend approval of the requested variances. Many of these lots have very similar variances. It's just small lots that are very tight.
Okay. Who's here to represent 4310 Holly? Name and address, please.
Stephen Holly, 1070 Misty Lake Drive, Lebanon, Tennessee.
Anything you'd like to tell the board?
No, other than I made a slight error in the drafts that you guys have. I don't know if you want, I brought 9 copies to pass back out. I guess I'll explain myself as I do that. The distance here from my field lines to the lake is 30 feet. Mr. Lawless, I realized he had me go remeasure from the point of my house to the lake, which is 67 feet. So I made a couple of errors here. I said it was 61 feet from the field lines there. That's not correct. This plot is correct if I can replace it, if that's okay.
Does that change anything?
He saw the correct.
Yeah, no, I made my recommendations based off what he'd submitted. Yes, sir.
Give everybody a corrected so they can see it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Sir.
The only thing that would be changed would be my amendment for the separation between structures from my field review.
But the request is correct and your response is correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay.
Well, there is one other thing. We are redirecting the steps from where they are now. I'll try to explain. I probably should have drew it. The steps now come off the deck up here and they come down. Well, here they are. Here's the deck. And they spin and come down in this 5-foot area. They're going to be, I'm taking it out this way, away from the house. It's not going to come back down in this small area. And once it lands down here from the point where the steps come down and you turn to come back to the pool, the closest distance is 8 feet. And I've got pictures of it on my phone if you guys want to see that. You said 6 feet, make it 6 feet.
I was measuring from the existing steps that are there to the description you had spray painted on the ground when we measured. It's 2 feet off.
Correct. But I'm changing that, so in that 5 feet area, the steps come down, they're not gonna be in that 5 feet area. They're gonna be equal to where the deck is, except they're gonna go straight down towards my neighbor's yard. And when you land down there, it's 8 feet from the closest point where you come down the steps, that post to the closest point of the pool is 8 feet away. So it would meet your variance.
That part of the request is new to me. I've not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
Look, if y'all don't know what you're asking for, I don't know how we can act on it. Because we had a request, and now it's been amended, now you got something else.
Excuse me.
And as complicated as this is,
I can keep it right like it is and not change it.
I'm really uneasy about.
I won't change it.
This is already about continuing to.
I won't change it. It'll stay exactly like it is. I won't change it. Let's continue.
Play like you didn't say that.
It was in my mind to change it. It's still there. I hadn't done a thing.
You can't unring the bell here.
Okay, then what do you want? What would you like from me then? I'm not going to change it.
Good. All right. You said.
I thought it would help.
Have you made all the comments you'd like to make?
I need to be quiet. Yes, sir.
Does anyone else here wish to address 4310? Okay. If not, I'll close public comment, and then all the board members have copies of the revised layout. And Mr. Lawless said that's okay. He's seen that. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we recommend approval based on staff recommendation.
I have a motion to approve 4310 based on staff recommendations.
I would recommend putting the amendment for the separation in there. The request was for 3 feet. I believe it needs to be for 6 feet if you're going to recommend approval of it based off staff
The motion needs to be to approve with a building separation of 6 feet.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Blades agrees. Does he have a second?
Second.
He has a second. So the motion is to approve 4310 with the building separation revised to 6 feet. We have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, vote aye. Aye. Opposition, no. And the ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and that actually makes my life easier. Just thank you.
Our next case is 4311. Michael and Julie Hamlin requesting a variance of 7 feet from the requirement of 8 feet between structures. The existing carport is 1 foot from the existing house and existing structure, and 1 foot from the existing carport. The variances will allow a proposed accessory structure to be placed on the property that will meet all the setbacks. The property is located at 8640 Central Pike, parcel 39.01 on Wilson County Tax Map 96. It consists of 45,000 square feet and is zoned R1 residential. We get staff recommendations now on 4311.
Mr. Chair, the applicant is requesting a variance of 7 feet from the requirement of 8 feet between structures. The existing carport is 1 foot from the existing house, and the existing accessory structure is 1 foot from the existing carport. So they're stacked up, and there's 1 foot of separation. The proposed structure will meet all the setbacks. Because this is not an older tract of record with the lot being created in 1977 without a recorded plat, staff cannot recommend approval. The board may consider that the accessory structures are existing. Staff is not aware of when they were constructed. Staff will note that the applicant is currently working on getting a plat recorded for the property. So I believe the order of events, there was a house built and then there was an accessory garage built, and that met all the separation. In the interim of some point in time, there was a metal carport that was added in between the two structures, and the metal carport is what is the distance between structures.
Okay. Who's here to represent 4311 Hamlin?
Julia Hamlin,
Yes, ma'am.
8640 Central Pike. We are asking for 7-foot variance. The said carport is not a carport, never has been. It's a awning over a patio that goes between the garage and the carport. That patio was poured at the same time we built that garage. And now we're wanting to build an additional garage.
Board have any questions for the applicant? If not, anyone else here wish to speak to 4311? Okay. I'll close public comment. In regard to 4311, do I hear a motion or discussion?
I'm going to make a motion that we approve this. I know that they've got some issues with the plat from many years ago in the 70s that they had all signatures but was not recorded. So they are working with that, also working with Mount Juliet. As far as being in the city of Mount Juliet, their growth boundary. So, but I make a motion that we approve this so all this can be taken care of.
Have a motion to approve 4311. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Now discussion. Perry, do you have something?
Oh, well, it's probably irrelevant. Now, I was just going to ask, if the awning were attached to the house, they wouldn't need a variance, but we've already got a motion to say.
Well,
There's no reason to go down.
You wouldn't, I mean, there's, I guess technically two variances, but it'll all one, but it would still need a variance because it's 1 foot off of the existing garage if it were attached.
What if it attached everything?
Well, then you wouldn't need one. It'd be all considered the primary structure in essence is how that would be setback wise.
That's irrelevant. We've already got a motion to say.
So we're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here. Jennifer Hamlin.
We've already got a motion on the floor. So
Okay.
Public comment's supposed to be closed.
Okay, that's fine.
So, all right, so we've got a motion and a second to approve 4311. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor vote aye. Aye. Opposition vote no. Ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Lawless, you have anything else?
I do. I have two comments. The first one is just kind of an update for you all on the land use plan. The steering committee for the land use plan is meeting today at 3 o'clock this afternoon. If that goes smoothly and everything is agreed upon, the public meeting for that will be as scheduled, will be September 25th, and that'll end up being at Cumberland University's Alumni Hall. As long as everything stays on track there. The other item I have for you is just if you all want to pursue this, I'm willing to go down this rabbit hole. And this is just this calendar year. So since January, there have been 11 height variance cases, including today's, 5 of which have been approved, 6 have been denied. 4 of the approvals have been on larger tracts of record, and when I say larger tracts of records, I'm saying anything over 5 acres. If you all are interested, I can work on some sort of resolution to maybe have not so many of those come before you. If you're fine with what you have, we'll leave it be, but I just wanted to make that information available to you.
I think it would be worth your looking at to have some kind of tiered approach. You know, distance off the property line means you get, so much height allowance until and up to 35 foot, which I think is the maximum.
Yeah, that's, for all structures.
For all structures.
Yep.
But I think a stair-step approach based on distance from the nearest property line would be in order. And if that keeps some of these out of here, that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, just as a comment, and I don't know if, it seems we're seeing more and more of these. I don't know if it's because people have, quote, bigger toys or bigger stuff to put in, or maybe it was just going on and the county's catching more, but it does seem like there's people are needing bigger buildings, I mean, whatever reason.
It's never a good thing when we don't have solid direction. And here, we're handing out some, and some we're not, and it's just, it's not a definitive criteria we're working off of, and that's not a good thing.
Okay.
If we don't have anything else, we're adjourned.